My name is Big C, Chris. I'm from the Dubs, East Oakland. Born and raised, you know.
You have to understand that the recidivism rate is 70%.
It's the block right here, 25th and Foothill, man. They hit us all over the place, you know. And they hit the corner on me right here, ran up on me. Police hit these corners, they leaning, you know what I'm saying? And they come, they smashing right up here, jumping out the car, and you got to hit them back fences back there.
That means if you stand 10 brothers in a row, 7 of them are going back to prison within the first 90 days.
This is where I went to prison many times at, not just once, about 3-4 times.
If you do over 10 years in prison, you are compared to a vet, an Army veteran that just came out of war, coming back, and now you get out. That's when the real fight starts, because that's where the party started, because you got to figure out how are you going to live? It's sink or swim.
Be the Twumps, but then it turned into the Murder Dubs. That's what they call it now. You know, I came up as a kid, man. We was from the beginning, we was pumping gas and you know, we was helping people with their groceries, and you know, we was riding around getting plums off trees and low courts and high goes with the pretty young ladies, the pretty girls back in the day when they used to, you know, the pressing comb and all that stuff, old school dresses, you know. I come up in the beautiful era. I think it was the 70s, you know, and it was a lot of family orientation, a lot of love, a lot of black pride. You know, the Panthers had just left the scene, so Oakland was beautiful. We skate around the lake on the weekend. You know, I come from that, man. Eventually, you know, when I got a little bit older, as you know, pre-teens, I used to like hanging out with the AC Mob. Go hang out on 4851, my cousin Demon Den. You know, we go to the mall. You know, everybody go to the mall. Your mom gives you some money to go buy you some 501 surfers. World Cup surfers, 501s, derby jacket, you know, hanging with the fellas, you know.
Absolutely, and that was the dress code, the derby jacket, and later on in the game, next thing you know, start putting the names on the jacket,
right?
Put your hood on
where
the jacket,
from.
where you was from. Yeah, I can, man, I feel that.
Hats too, man.
Yeah, the hats with the little hands on it.
Yeah,
yeah, that was a little later. Back then, you know, it was. You see niggas with the sniper hats, with the glasses with no lenses, Playboy bunnies, you know, Playboy bunnies with the perms and the snipers, you know what I'm saying? So it was fun, man. I grew up on 23rd, so I used to look at Mickey Mo and all them, and you know, them was OGs, and we was kids back then. We couldn't even walk past there. My mom would whoop our ass if we even walked past Tony's Liquor. So. By 16, I was on 96. I was grinding. I was grinding, and it started way before then. You know, around 81, 82, you start hearing about the powder boys, dope boys, and you see your homie. He got a wad of money like this. I'm like, what the, how you get all that money? Because actually, we was poor. You know what I'm saying? We come in eating government cheese. Mama couldn't pay the rent. Granddaddy and grandfather in there arguing and shit on the first. He then went to the track and messed off the money. So, you know, we was going through it, man. You know, it was a struggle, you know. And you know, you could look at the situation that black folks has been going through throughout the history in America, that made that happen. But you know, wasn't nobody balling in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s. You know, if you had a good job. You was working at General Motors, or you was working at one of these companies. You went to school, had a college education, but in Oakland, a lot of families were struggling, you know. So when I seen when we seen that, you know what I'm saying, and they got on the flyers, clothes and stuff like that. Oh man, you know, it was a move. It just dropped out of nowhere, the dope game, and you know, we had to get into that because, you know, a lot of us, me and my family, we hung together. You know, we was tight. You know what I'm saying, and a lot of us, we had we was already a crew, you know, so we got together and said we're gonna do that, you know, that's what we're gonna do, and then listening, looking at up to Felix Mitchell and Mickey Mo and Little Durl, and we coming, we trying to be ballers like them, millionaires like them, man. They said what? Felix bought the Clark Gable mansion. Oh man, that was who we was looking up to. We wanted to be like Fee. Okay, yeah, man. So this is the 25th Apartments, man, where we set up shop back in the day, long time ago in the 80s. And this fence used to be a wooden fence. So when we was grinding, the 5-0 couldn't see through the fence. So one time they set up a van right here. They just parked the van right here. It was full of police, similar to a white van across the street. But they parked the van, you couldn't see in the van, and whoever opened the door, that's when they would try to hit. But this was wooden. We used to hang out right here, or we'd be on the second floor looking over. You know what I'm saying? We'd be on this side looking over, making sure we're walking down the streets. And if they hit, we hit the back fences and the back roof back there and go to the other apartments around the corner. Or we had spots up in here where we would go. But if they hit, we wanted to get out of these apartments and hit the escape route in the back. So on this whole street, you know, this being 25th, this was the whole block, man. So this was one of the spots that I was at. You know, I had a spot right here, that house across the street right there. Upstairs, we had that one. This right here was, they became the police. They used to watch us, and the Mexican mother, she didn't like us, and the kids became police officers.
What was it like when you first started, I guess, getting on
grinding?
the other side of the law? Yeah.
Honestly, man, niggas was getting high, man. Two Store was rapping about bass rock cabbies and niggas was smoking Grammys. You know what I'm saying? And we was grinding at the same time, right? But that's how a lot of guys in my generation got caught up and became dope addicts. You know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't get out of that. They couldn't get out of that drug use. You know, but some people went through it and went through the stages. And you know, we had rock houses. Used to be places where you work for somebody who had a house, and he'd pay you to watch out or work inside the rock house, and you get paid just like a job. Or on the street, you get a certain amount of money for grinding for somebody. And eventually, as a youngster, we took that education, and we stayed in that life, and eventually we became the big guys, you know. This is another spot right here where my grandma used to stay. And man, this was like 86. It was popping, incredibly popping. It was rolling, I'm talking about really rolling. And that's when we first got in the game. And that's where we really basically got our feet wet in this house right here. What used to happen is nothing but cop and blow. And they coming, every car came down here was buying some dope. And they pop 24/7. I used to fill up my pockets, my front pockets, my back pockets, my jacket pockets, a bag. And we used to we used to grind with a stick, a pistol, and a flashlight. So when you hit the corner, you flash the light. That's where you know where to pull. We didn't want you to pull in front of us because we had customers that already knew. Pull over and park. When you hit this corner, pull over and park, or park around the corner and walk down. You know, so They see that light, they see that we operating, they pull over and park, and they come get served. Can't have no ones, can't have no change.
Wow.
You know, $20 only. If we selling 20s, you know what I'm saying? Later on, they start selling 10s, but it was $20 only. You didn't have $20, you get your ass beat, you know? So watching that corner, police hit. That's the exit right there. Buses pull up. You used to have girls on the bus and shit. You know, sometimes they get off. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was always because it was wild. It was popping over here, man. You know, it was popping. And every day we was going to the mall and get fresh. We go to the mall, go get a new fit, and we go get fresh. You know, so I'm sitting out here, got the brand new Nikes on, a nice sweatsuit or something, a nice fit, and we fitted out here. And the police, they knew what was going on, especially they knew the look of the D-boys. So they was gonna try to jack us, but we was ready because the bundle is over there or down there. You know what I'm saying? I had a spot right here. You know, had a little female stage there.
Okay.
And she roll out here. You know, have somebody watching these corners. You have somebody watching the corners both ways. It just was wild back then, man. It was nothing but grinding. These apartments, we had these apartments right here. It was nothing but strictly grinding going on here. You know, people that lived here, they knew what time it was. It was like, you know, they was under siege because we'd have, I'm not gonna say everybody's names, but it was more people than me. And we had the block, man. It was $1 million spot over here. So every day was just non-stop traffic coming through this corner and coming from that way. You had people coming from AlDroMedia, getting off the BART station. But not only that, it was different spots all around. You know what I'm saying? You had spots up here, spots over there. You know, I'm not gonna say too many people's names.
No.
You know, but yeah, we would grind all day, and you know, motherfuckers for a brief period, for about 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. You grind all day, and then at night you meet up with your partners. Where I was at, you know, I first started grinding on 96. You know what I'm saying? 96 was very violent back there. There was a lot of niggas over there, and it was a lot of the players in the game came through 96 because 96 was rolling, you know. Lipston was down there, Kim Servine, Brim and Fat Ran and Ice-T and all of them, Birch, Ota B and Art and them. So it was a lot of stuff out there, man. And you know, as we got into the game, because you know it was like a whirlwind. It hit us. We didn't know what the hell we was doing. You know what I'm saying? Once we straightened up and seen what the capabilities of, then we start getting money. You know what I'm saying? Then niggas couldn't. If a nigga was blowing or doing any of that shit, he couldn't fuck with the real players, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So niggas start getting money, and me and my folks, we was going all over the place. Frisco, Richmond, you know what I'm saying? We took over a spot in Richmond, me and my brother, and my partner Ice-T. We went over there to San Francisco to fuck with them boys out there. And we had a spot on 96th, and my grandma moved to 25th. We created a whole spot on 25th. That's where I'm from right now, you know what I'm saying? And 25th was like $1 million spot, you know what I'm saying? That was like a spot, it was under. We had a lot of different races that used to come through there. But they used to, you know, when we first started grinding, BGF told us that we couldn't grind. It was just, you know, because it was some guys that was drug addicts that tried to intimidate us because we 15, 16, 17 years old, you know. And I had a whole household of family members, youngsters, you know, and we grinding. And they tell us we got to pay them, but they just crackheads, you know what I'm saying? So we start mopping everybody. You know what I'm saying? We used to have the ambulance over there every day.
What they say, them youngsters ain't playing. Them youngsters ain't playing.
And I heard a guy, because I went to Santa Rita. I went to jail one time, and an OG, he told me he was talking in a bullpen talking about the feed them and how they set up shop. He said the first 30 days, first 2 months, we whooped ass, and then the turf was, made. That it was cool. So we took that mentality, and not only did we do that, we bought a lot of guns because you could buy anything. They would sell it. They'd sell you a kitchen sink, a whole kitchen, a whole house. You know what I'm saying? So we bought all the guns, and we was in a mob mentality, and we embraced that, and we took that life, and we lived that life to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Even if we would expire or die, we was living that life. We had a saying, Super Bowl Sunday on the 50-yard line. It's gonna happen. It's gonna go down.